I'm gonna be honest, this plane is exactly what you'd expect it to be, nothing more, nothing less. This is the F-104S.ASA. It's an Italian, rank 7, battle rating 11.3 interceptor. And I'd imagine if there were things to actually intercept at really high altitudes, this thing would do that very well. But of course we all know that top tier War Thunder does not play that way. But that said, this thing is still workable because you get 4 AIM-9Ls. And if you so desire, you can carry 2 Aspide missiles, but the problem there is you lose your Vulcan if you do that. I also still don't know if I'm saying Aspide right.
Aspide.
Sweet. I did try a few games taking the Aspides, but every single time I would just kind of end up wishing I had more AIM-9Ls. So from there on out, that's what I've been doing, just the 4 AIM-9Ls and the Vulcan. Even though top tier is highly dependent on what missiles you have and what missiles your opponent has, I still prefer to have this Vulcan just in case I need it, but I think I've legit maybe got 2 kills with the Vulcan, and I think I have like 70 or so total kills at this point. Anyway, like I said, the fly performance of the ASA is pretty much what you'd expect. It's a starfighter. It's basically a flying engine. You have very limited maneuverability. You roll really well, but that's only because the plane is so thin, and the wings are so short and stubby that there's really no resistance there to keep you from rolling super fast. But that's about where the agility of this plane ends. Turning is not exactly this plane's forte. This plane is a very, very wide turning circle, and at low speeds it feels sometimes impossible to actually get the nose around. But at higher speeds you can turn a bit, but it doesn't matter because you're still not winning a dogfight in this plane. Okay, so if the ASA can't maneuver, what can it do? Well, it can fly in really straight lines. Typically what I've been doing is climbing as high as I can as quickly as possible, getting above where any F-14 will assume I'm at so I don't get shot by an AIM-7F. From there I basically look for the biggest group of enemy planes, and once I think they're distracted enough by my teammates, ideally they're not looking around or above or behind them, I will dive down. I'll try and get close enough to shoot an AIM-9L or 2, and then fly away. Repeat until you're out of missiles, or until the game's over. If there's anything you should not do in this plane, it's losing your speed. You want to be as fast as possible at all times so no one can follow you when you're flying away. Which doing so is actually quite easy because of course this thing is a starfighter and it's incredibly fast. To be honest, I was actually surprised how well I was doing in this plane considering it's a starfighter. I guess once again this goes to show you if you have good missiles at top tier, you're gonna do fine. The exact same situation as the Harrier GR7. You got 4 AIM-9Ls so you can get some kills. Essentially the ASA is very simple. Oh yeah, and one more thing about the plane itself. So the RWR doesn't tell you what direction you're being locked from, which is really annoying, and I'll be honest, it has gotten me killed a couple of times. Y'all already know how inconsistent the spotting system is in this game, so there have been a couple of times where I was desperately looking around in all directions trying to see where I was being locked from, only to see the missile when it's like a kilometer away from me, and then I'm dead, of course. In most situations though, you generally know where you're being locked from, and then you can just maneuver how you would need to. Anyway, let's get into some gameplay. So starting out this game, I'm way high up. As I said earlier, I like to do this pretty much every game. And if you go high enough and go the right direction, you're not going to be spammed with Phoenixes or AIM-7Fs. This will leave you in a position where you have pretty much free reign on your target selection. Typically, I like to go after the biggest group of opponents possible. Under normal circumstances in a lot of different planes, this wouldn't be the best thing to do. But with the range of the AIM-9Ls, you can kind of fire them off pretty far. Especially if everyone below you that you're shooting at is flying level, you can get some 4.5 kilometer kills with these AIM-9Ls. And when you're shooting from that far away, you have some time to switch targets and get another 1 or 2 off, which will also likely result in a kill. As you can see, I've started my dive down, and there's a whole bunch of enemy planes right below me. A few of my teammates are around here as well, which basically means these guys are going to be super distracted. Fire 1 missile off, send off another one, and that's going to result in 2 kills. See a MiG-21 Biz at low speed right here, and I try to kill with my Vulcan, but I completely scuffed the aim. But looking back at the footage, it looks like he was probably going to go down anyway, so I probably would have been stealing that guy's kill, but I didn't, so cool, I guess? Anyway, now I put my nose back up to try and reassess this situation. At this point, I'm pretty sure their other team kind of got rolled, so we're doing alright. But as I'm doing this reassessing, I notice an F-4F down on my left, and it doesn't appear that any of my teammates are nearby him. So of course I start heading that way. Keep looking behind me, this MiG-23, because I kind of wasn't really aware of his presence until he was like 3 kilometers from me. F-4F ends up maneuvering while he's got his eye on my teammate, which is going to kill all his speed. And he's going to be distracted, so I'm going to send off another AIM-9L, and that's going to be another kill. And now the next nearest target is this MiG-23. I could have shot off my AIM-9 here, but just in case he flared, I decided to hold it and wait a little bit and maybe get him to think that I didn't have any missiles left. Once I get a little closer, I send off this AIM-9L, and as you can see the glory of the AIM-9L, it simply does not care about your flares. Alright, so I was going to commentate over another game because I thought this video was a little bit short. But then I thought about it and realized all of the games I've been playing with this thing pretty much end up the same way if I win. Basically just flying high and pointing my nose down and shooting missiles at people, so it probably wouldn't make the most entertaining content, I feel. It's also due to the fact that like 90% of the footage I had of this thing, for some reason, the game audio is not with the videos, and I'm very butthurt about it. Anyway, the F-104S.ASA is a starfighter at 11.3 with good missiles. It pretty much plays exactly how you would expect it to. You fly in a lot of straight lines, and then you point your nose at somebody with the AIM-9L, and then you get kills. But if you end up in a bad situation where you have to face more than one person, even if it is just one person, you're not going to win 1v1s in this thing. This plane has zero clutch ability, but that's because it is a starfighter. But of course, that's kind of expected. But weirdly enough, I actually found myself kind of enjoying this thing. Maybe it's because I play it a little bit differently than I play other top tiers. Anyway, what do you think about the ASA? Let me know, because I feel like I don't really see that many people talking about it. Alright, that's going to be it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.